So this is going to be a quick review of the Playseat Revolution, not the Evolution that everyone's so familiar with. So yeah, this is it. The new Playseat Revolution is pretty much the newest playseat available. To be honest, it's been available for a while. It's just they called it the Playseat, World Rally Championship. Basically, it's just like a WRC Playseat, except they called it. They have a new general name for Playseat, and it's called the Playseat Revolution. But anyway, so here it is. I just got it in the mail today. It looks and feels very familiar or reminiscent of the cheaper Playseat Revolution or Evolution. I'm sorry. Just for price wise, it cost $550 on their website and on Amazon, which is where I got it. I'm trying to think what else. I already had a G25, and I just recently picked up a G27, so I went ahead and mounted the G27 up there, and I also took off the gear shift off my Playseat Evolution and threw it up on the Playseat Revolution. So it's still compatible with all the other slider kits and everything. I didn't put the slider in there because, well, I'll go into that in a minute. But first things first, obviously the major difference between the Playseat Evolution and the Revolution visually is the little strut bar that is that goes right in between your legs. It used to be positioned right over the pedal, and then it'd go up and over. But now they recently just made a modification, and they decided to position it right in between your legs. Now this does help out with or fix a lot of those problems with the Playseat Evolution, which was pretty much, if you did mount a G25 or G27 pedals up onto the pedal board, you'd find yourself like sort of your leg always touching the bar. With this new modification, it's not as bad, but I'm not going to say it's perfect. It's still not very comfortable. You don't have the freedom to move your legs still, but it's a lot better, I promise you. Also, another modification they made, with that little strut bar, it's fully adjustable. It's kind of cool. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on this light real quick. Okay. It's kind of cool because this is where it's mounted, and as you can see, depending on how tall you are or where you want the wheel position, I know this doesn't look like a lot of room to have adjusted ability, but really it is. I went ahead and played with it all the way over here, middle, and I found out this is going to be probably the most ideal for me. I might try sort of doing it in between the middle and the very front, just simply because I feel like my arms are sort of like scrunched up a little too much. Another modification is the adjustability of the foot pedals and the length. Really, this sort of eliminates the need entirely to buy a slider kit for it. The slider kit will work for the Playseat Revolution, but since you can adjust the height and length of the wheel, essentially, and keeping that separate from the wheel distance, or I'm sorry, the pedal distance. Really, you just gotta sit there and play around with the little strut up here. This moves up and down the height of the wheel and the pedals, and pretty much play around with it until you finally find that little perfect setting for yourself. But I mean, really, I'm still gonna play around with it, but. So far, I've been pretty happy with everything except my legs touching. It still touches, as you can see. Actually, I don't know if you can see the little darkness, but I went ahead and ran a few laps in Gran Turismo and Gran Turismo 5, and this is pretty much where that area that your leg will always be touching if you're going to be braking. Now, I did hard mount the pedals onto the pedal board, so they're not going anywhere. But the only thing is, If it were me, I'd actually have the pedal, I mean the whole pedals moved over of like maybe a half an inch, just so that I pretty much that if it was moved over half an inch, I probably wouldn't have to I probably wouldn't be touching this. So it kind of stinks because I'm gonna go ahead and show you the back. There's a bunch of holes in the back, which is good. But I went ahead and used the mounting holes they drilled or pre-drilled, and pretty much if you use those, it's gonna be, you know, pretty much center with the pedal board, which is fine. But really, I prefer to have it a little to the left. If I have to, you know, when I am driving GT cars or rally cars, if I do have to sort of have my left foot out for the clutch, you know, that's fine, because clutch pedals are awesome and everything, but really they're not, they don't punish you. The games aren't so good yet that they punish you for not feathering out correctly. So pretty much you just feather as quickly as you can. Just make sure that your clutch is always in before you shift, and then you're good to go. So anyway, moving on. Obviously, I think I mentioned this before. One of the major differences is the new bucket seat design that was in the WRC Playseat. I actually recently checked their website, and I saw that they actually had a section for the Playseat Revolution. They call it the Playseat Revo for short, which is, I mean, that's fine or whatever. But so far, so good, really. I kind of like having those little, no offense, it's going to sound crazy, but I kind of like these because sometimes you're tired or drunk and you're driving, and these are actually really strong. They're actually, like, they feel really realistic, reminiscent of actual race seat in a race car or whatever. So anyway, yeah, so far so good, really. No complaints about the gear shifter. It's still not high enough, but there's nothing you can do. That's a design flaw. I feel like when I sit down, the gear shifter sits a little bit low, but at the same time, I mean, I feel like I found a good little position for it, where when I do shift into first, my arm's almost completely extended out. That's the way I want it to be. I haven't tried putting a Fanatic on there yet. I'm actually getting a new Fanatic Porsche 911 GT3 in the mail with the Club Sport pedals, so, and the gear shift. So I really haven't tried that mount with any other gear shift but the G25 and the G27, which is up here. So I'm not exactly sure how that would mount, or if there's a little kit. I'm sure there's a little kit online that could probably you know, raise it up a little bit more, a little bit higher, but so far this is pretty much what I'm working with. So yeah, as many of you know already, I am a Formula 1 racer, so really main complaint is just my legs still touching the bar. Other than that, it's still very comfortable. I mean, I haven't broken the seat in just yet, I guess, technically, but, you know, I can see over time these sort of wearing out. Pretty much the seat came, you know, folded up in the box. Surprisingly, I mean, for those of you who don't have play seats, they fit everything in a very, very compact box. It's kind of crazy that this whole thing came out of the same box, but it did. So, as many of you know, there's springs right underneath this little area for some cushioning, and there's springs in the back. But, you know, this is the back padding. And it's not that thick. I mean, the cloth feels really nice. It's just not that thick. Like I said, I haven't broken it in yet. Once I break it in, I'm sure the padding's gonna feel a lot thinner. But still, at least they got sort of the seat part right. This is pretty much the seat right here. As you can see, your butt's gonna be on this end, your legs on this end. I mean, at least this part's thicker. Sort of the, you know, give your legs some cushioning and some comfort for endurance races, especially. That's important because your legs do get tired if they're elevated. So it's kind of nice having the cushioning raised up a little bit right here. and that also suits skinny, larger guys, really anyone. What's really nice about the play seat in general. That's why a lot of people prefer the play seat to be their first sim racing seat, I guess, because of its compatibility. Now, like I said, I have a Fanatic coming in the mail soon, and also I finally got enough guts, and I have enough income now to go ahead and actually officially order the GamePod GT2. Now, if for those of you who don't know, the GT2 is made in Europe. It kind of stinks how many racing racing seats, racing pods, racing sims, whatever you want to call it. It's kind of a shame how many are made in Europe, because to have it shipped to the U.S., if they even offer it, isn't cost an arm and a leg. But for us racing enthusiasts out there, we're willing to pay that much. But the GamePod GT2 is a madman. It's really nice. For those of you who don't know, I mean, just go to gamepod.co. something. I forget. All I know is the price of the seat before tax is close to $650, and it's a lot better than the play seat. I know that for a fact. I know this looks like a bucket seat, and it really does look and feel similar, but what's nice about the GamePod is they actually are real bucket seats that can be used in cars. This cannot. It even has a sticker that says it cannot be used in a car. And then also, it's just like there's free range for your leg. The compatibility with even the Logitech GT, you can even mount your old GT Logitech on this GamePod. It has already pre-drilled holes for Thrustmaster pedals and Thrustmaster T500RS, GT, G25. Pretty much, it has. It's compatible with just about every current Fanatic, Thrustmaster, and Logitech wheel. But like I said, it comes from Europe, so it's gonna cost an arm and leg. And pretty much, I did a mock sort of pricing for the C. I think I asked for a couple of vanity things as well, like instead of having a boring plate that the pedals go up on. I think I had like an aluminum plate. It's sort of similar to that. Then also I threw in a gear shift that's compatible with Fanatic and Logitech gear shift, 6-speed, H pattern, whatever. And then also I think I threw in, because it comes with a slider, the seat slides automatically, so that's kind of nice. The pedals do not slide, that's why it comes with the seat slider. But I also bought a butt kicker mounting kit. I ordered a butt kicker a long time ago. It still hasn't come in yet, because it's always on back order. The butt kicker Gamer 2. Now I had a butt kicker mounted to the first butt kicker. The first butt kicker mounted to my Playseat Revolution. Pretty much, I don't know if those of you know, or those of you are wondering. Oh, by the way, I totally forgot to tell you, this is the Gran Turismo edition of the Revelation. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you've seen that. But there's a regular Playseat Revolution that doesn't have these logos, but really, this just says, like, the Gran Turismo logo, and it has PS3 all over it. So anyway, back to the Playseat Evolution. I don't know if those of you who do have the butt kicker Gamer or Gamer 1 or 2, but pretty much there's only one ideal place to mount it. There's no way you can mount it on the pedals, and even with this new upgraded strut bar that goes in between your legs, really, you can't even mount it there. And I don't know why you'd want a piston like right there. That's pretty intense. Really, you want to feel the vibration sort of in your butt area. So this little bolt right here is the ideal place to put it. Now, for those of you who are wondering how I did it, I forget which mod I did, but I do know that it cost maybe $10 to $20, I think, to do. Pretty much, I'd used the same bolt right here. The only thing I did was I went to a hardware store and I bought some really thick washers and a really big socket. Like, not just a regular socket that's only about a quarter of an inch long, but like a really, really long one. Pretty much the biggest one you can find. But you just gotta make sure you buy washers that are can fit inside of it, and that the holes aren't big enough so that they don't move. And it's pretty effective, I promise you. For those of you who are kind of curious to where you can mount a gamer, a butt kicker gamer, that's pretty much the only place still that you can only mount it. There's no other ideal place. For those of you who do know what it's like to have a butt kicker on a play seat, it's extremely effective having it all the way right by your butt. But the only thing is, if you have it turned up, you know, sort of medium even, over time it will begin to loosen your bolts. That's fine, you know. It doesn't take long to go take a Allen wrench and retighten everything. It's not like they come so loose that your seat starts to fall apart, but it does get loose over time. So other than that, yeah, that's all I really have to say about this. See, it's pretty nice. It still folds down just like the Evolution, that's good. And then also, with the seat, I guess the major improvements, like I said, are going to be, you're going to see in the strut bar that goes in between your legs, and the seat itself is a little bit more comfortable. It feels a little bit nice. It still has the suede. I didn't get the leather one. There is a leather one I think you can buy. It's sort of that kind of suede Alcantara kind of feel. So yeah, that's it. If you guys have any questions about my equipment, my games, my player ID, if you want to race later, let me know, because I am back into it. I'm back in the game. I'm just waiting for my Thrustmaster gear shift to come in, and then I'm going to do away with all my Logitech stuff. And my Fanatic is going to be my new F1 wheel, which I cannot wait for. So yeah, if anyone has any questions, just let me know. And if anyone is a Formula One racer, primarily, and for those of you who are planning to get the new F1 game, F1 2011, on September 20th, I'm with you. So I'm looking for someone who can race only at night, and also who is decent. Actually, I really don't care how good you are at racing, and I don't care if you use driving aids. I know it takes time to get good at racing games, and especially Formula One. But if you do, or if you are interested in racing with me as a partner on the PlayStation Network, just let me know. I'll go ahead, and I'm not going to have tryouts necessarily, but I am going to want to race with you a couple times, or do a couple training runs with you, just to make sure you meet my standards. Because pretty much, I want to do this for fun, but at the same time, I want to challenge you to get better. That's what's fun about racing games, because the more you practice, the better you get, and better you are. So, Playseat Revolution, pretty good still. Oh, one last feature. I keep on forgetting stuff. I apologize. One last feature that is, it's the same, but it's a little bit different. Like for you guys might be wondering if you can run the cables through the frame still. You can, and even the frame is a little bit more sturdier. I forget what they said they did to the metal, but they treated it, and it has some. It's a little bit stronger and sturdier. I know some people who get really intense with their wheels and the butt kicker. They found over time the welds would come off, which is kind of crazy, but the welding is a lot better. I will say that the welding on the gear shift is. I was thinking about getting another one, because I feel like I might snap mine here in a little bit. So really, that's all I have to say. I really think that they should just pretty much make the gear shift standard. I think it's kind of stupid, because most people do get the G25 or G27. So here it is, Playseat Revolution.